tonight. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. It's what you're doing, making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling. There's no one else here that I see but you. It's what you're doing that's making me feel like I'm falling. Yeah, I'm falling in love. Falling in love. You set my wheels in motion. I'm going crazy for you. Eyes blue like the ocean. I can see you want this too. Cause you've been looking at me all night, trying to figure me out. I just wanna let you know. And I ain't playing no games, baby, you won't change. I only want you. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. It's what you're doing, making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling. There's no one else here that I see but you. It's what you're doing that's making me feel like I'm falling. Yeah, I'm falling in love. Yeah, I'm falling in love. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. It's what you're doing, making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling. There's no one else here that I see but you. It's what you're doing that's making me feel like I'm falling. Yeah, I'm falling in love. Yeah, I'm falling in love. Yeah, I'm falling in love. Yeah, I'm falling in love.
This one is good dancing. I like it. I could not stop dancing. I mean, you know that I always dance, but yeah, it could have been Taylor. That had a Taylor vibe. I feel like
That's why
you've
I
done
picked
something
it.
else with. What's that?
That's why I picked it.
I feel like you've done something with Emmy before. Have we had that artist before?
Very good. You win the prize. I don't have my. Oh wait, here. Yeah, this one. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It yes, the same band too, Wildflowers. Apparently she
Yeah,
pops in and out and does stuff with them sometimes. So yeah.
love it. I need to add her to my Spotify playlist because I
Yeah.
dig it. I dig it. How is everyone? Happy Tuesday. It is officially fall. Tonight, we did some fall baking over the weekend that we're going to share with you. Jenna, you just got done reading Beer and Loathing. Oh, yes. So fun. I feel like the Sloane Krause series is like quintessential fall. Like when I think of fall, I think of Leavenworth, Oktoberfest. It was just Fall Leaf Festival up there. I love it. I am working on the third short for the Sloane Krause series. And then once I finish that, I will publish a collection of all three. So I cannot wait. Of course it is, Joseph. Come on.
That's right. Yeah. Here we go. Whew, look at
I know.
that.
And I'm actually sitting the opposite way in my office tonight, too. We're shaking it up all the way. Usually my desk is pointed the opposite way because now it's fall. I can sit in front of my window because the sun isn't just like blaring on me when I write. So, yeah. Michelle, you're the matron of honor at a wedding. Oh, how so fun. A fall wedding. What's the color scheme going to be? I was just thinking about the fact that we all need to manifest a royal Taylor Swift wedding. That was on my mind today, but have fun at the wedding. Beth, some of the recipes are in an upcoming book. I have been testing recipes a lot for a smoking bun, which is the book that I just delivered. But I have super exciting news. We'll share recipes at the end. But I also have a special surprise guest who's going to be joining us on the live tonight, who did a recipe for Catch Me If You Candy. This is the first time in a book that I have had a recipe from someone that was not me. And it came about because I have had so many requests from readers wanting gluten-free recipes, and that is not my area of expertise. And I have a good friend who is just an amazing baker, and she so kindly offered to create and craft a recipe for apple decadence cake, which let me tell you, it is to die for. It's so good. It's a spice cake, and then there's an apple compote in the middle, and then a layer of buttercream. I added a little bit of cinnamon to my buttercream. It was so good. We still have a few pieces. I should have brought one in tonight to show you. So I'm going to get her on in just a second. I see a couple questions. Amy, you want to know what the weather will be like in Ashland next month for Mystery Fest? It should be gorgeous. Fire season is ending, thank goodness. October in Ashland, it could be 70 in the daytime walking around. It could be mid 60s. It's likely to be sunny. There's a chance it could rain. And then in the evening, it'll be cool. It'll be in like the 40s probably at night. So you'll want to dress in layers for sure. Yeah.
That was a true meteorologist forecast. It could be sunny. It could
Could be
rain.
sunny.
It might be
Could rain.
warm. It could be
warm, but
cold.
it's all
Bring
true.
a coat. Yeah, no, it is. It is
I'm not
totally
wrong.
true.
You know, it could really be anything. It might be, it won't be 100. I can tell you that probably. It won't be 80 probably. I'm going to say that, and it'll be like a record breaking heat. But typically in October is one of my favorite months in Ashland, which is why I'm so excited to have the Mystery Fest happening then, because the fall leaves will be in full color, and you have those like crisp mornings and cool evenings, but lovely sunny afternoons. Yeah, all of the things. Okay. It is, Judy. It's Southern Oregon is just it's kind of fickle. You get all of it. Perhaps there could be a chance of snow. I don't know. We were just reminiscing over photos of the release of A Cup of Holiday Fear, which was in September of, I don't know what that was, 2019 maybe. And Sky Guy was at a cross country race in Lithia Park. And then we had the launch event at the Winchester Inn. And it actually was snowing briefly. It didn't stick, but yeah, you don't know. So dress in layers, bring a raincoat just in case, and it's going to be a blast. Even if it rains or sprinkles, it's okay, because we're going to be going from shop to shop and walking all around town. So it'll be beautiful. All right. Well, without further ado, let me invite our guest on for the evening. Welcome to the live, Miri Pizon. Pizon sounds so French. It's not really how you pronounce your name, but I like to say that in my head whenever I see it. Miri, thanks so much for being here.
Oh my gosh, Ellie, I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
And you wore a special shirt just for the tech guy.
I did. How could you not?
Oh wait, I have a better sound effect.
Oh,
There we go.
yeah.
There we go.
You're in Ashland. Do you agree or disagree in terms of the weather in October? I don't know.
Oh yeah, that sounds pretty accurate to me. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's all good.
I mean, it's a transitional season, so we're not right in the heart of anything, but tends to be cooler. Definitely chilly in the evenings, and layers is the safe way to go. Yeah.
It's the safe way to go.
Yep.
All right. Well, so as I was rambling on in my intro of you, we have been friends for years, and I've had the divine pleasure of getting to sample your delicious baked goods. And it's not always fun to be the gluten-free person in the room at a party. And for
Yeah.
you, like, it's also dangerous, right? So It was such a delight to get to be able to share this recipe. I can't thank you enough for that. But can you talk a little bit about sort of your journey and what the process of I don't know if I said this. I probably didn't. Miri is now also a gluten-free coach.
Yes.
She has a website, Safely Sated, that we'll share here. But this has been a long journey to getting to this phase of where you're at. So talk a little bit about that.
Oh gosh. Okay, so in the beginning, about 10 years ago, I always thought of myself as having a cast iron stomach. I could eat anything. And eventually I started waking up in the middle, not to be too graphic, but I would wake up vomiting,
Yeah, that's not
and
fun.
talking to doctors, they were like, "Oh, well, you just you can't eat any good food anymore. Nothing spicy, nothing acidic, nothing." And I'm like, that can't be right. And I started poking around, and I found out that a lot of people, if they go on the paleo diet, that can assist with acid reflux and GERD. And I was like, I'll try it, like that sounds way better.
Then
And
waking up vomiting, yeah, check that
yeah, yeah,
box.
for
Yeah.
reals. You know, so I went on the paleo diet, and my acid reflux completely went away very, very quickly. It was wonderful. And I started noticing, like, built into the diet, there are cheat days where you can have the cakes or cookies or whatever. And I started realizing that I was getting sick on my cheat days. So I dug into that a little bit more and realized I think I have a gluten problem. And I went and talked to my doctor, and he's like, "Well, if you can't eat it, don't eat it." And I'm like, "Thanks."
Yeah.
And yes, yes, it's really hard to find a good doctor who understands digestive problems. And literally, I walked out of his office with one-page piece of paper that says, "Don't eat bread or pasta." And that was it. And so I had to go and research all of this. I had to do a deep dive into what gluten is, how to avoid it, how to cook without it, where you're going to be surprised by it, like things like top 3, there we go. Top 3 yeah. Top 3 surprise places that gluten hides. Number 1 is soy sauce.
Mm.
Nobody expects that. Number 2 is spice mixes. Why is there gluten in that? And number 3 is licorice. Red vines, Twizzlers, all of those. So I made every mistake in the book. I was constantly making myself sick accidentally in the beginning. And after years of figuring it out, this is in the times before gluten-free was on every shelf. So I had to really just figure it out. And the baking thing was really hard because I
But
considered myself a pretty good baker.
that's what I was just gonna
And
say. Not only are you, a baker in terms of your flavor profiles, but you're also I mean, you're up there with Jules, like, when you eat one of Mary's cakes, like, y they're beautiful too, like, you have such an
uh,
aesthetic eye for decorating and everything too. And I know from my end, baking without I mean, gluten is kind of the binding ingredient in a lot of baked goods, so it's a challenge, right? So, yeah.
yeah.
I saw
And
somebody
we're
asked
really
about Oh, go ahead, yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I saw somebody asked about, Laura wants to know if you have a favorite gluten-free flour substitute.
Whatever's on sale or what's available.
I love it.
I so one of my favorite bakers is Chef Alina, and I can't say enough good things about her, but she's figured out a lot of recipes that can use pretty much any one-to-one flour, and you will get really good results from her bakes. Like I don't generally design recipes. This was a fun challenge for me.
Special one for me, thank you, yeah. But
But it
learning
was
how to
really
bake without
exciting.
gluten, right, has been a process for you.
Oh yeah, you have to take all of the rules that you know about baking and place them in the trash can and just start from the beginning again. So, it's exciting because like you can get into the science and the chemistry of it, but like the rules are different because the chemistry is different.
How many, baking fails have you had along the way?
3 years worth.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Uh-huh.
And, I still make them every so often, but it's not nearly like it was just like 3 years of everything came out like a brick. And some of
Yeah.
them were golden blonde bricks and some of them were black bricks, but they all were horrible.
I've shared that with you because I feel like, I'm a pretty decent baker, and it's been such a challenge to like switch. And like, if we were getting together, I would always want to bake something for you and be like, oh, this is just terrible. This is embarrassing. Like, I did all
It's
the same things
really
and just swap something and it doesn't always work.
no, I know that they call it one-to-one flour, but it kind of really isn't. You're going to have your best bet if you start with a recipe that's designed to be gluten-free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you start segueing into the idea of coaching and like helping people going through this process?
Well, I was actually at the group that you and I met through, and I was sitting there saying, I really don't know what I want to be when I grow up. And one of our friends was like, oh, but Miriam, you make such great food. You should, like people kept telling me I should open a bake shop. And I'm like, oh my gosh, no, that 4 a.m. thing, that's like when I go to bed.
Right. No.
That's not, no. But she was like, you could teach other people to do this. And I was like, oh no, I couldn't possibly. And I got home and I was like, well, why not?
Mm-hmm.
I've got like a decade of experience on this at this point. And there are people who are just starting out right now and they don't even know about soy sauce yet, So it was time for me to step into giving back to the community that has helped me so much.
What do you think are some of the biggest challenges when somebody, either is deciding to go gluten-free or realizes, like I have to go gluten-free?
Oh, I mean, one of the biggest challenges is just that it really does feel like gluten is in everything. It's in everything. It's in ice cream. It's in deli meat. Like, why is there gluten in deli meat? You know, like why? And so just learning how to shop again is a big hurdle to overcome. And I think there's also, and this is more what I help people with, is the family side of things,
Mhm.
or the social side. Like, how do you go to a restaurant and hang out with your friends or family or coworkers when you can't eat safely?
Right.
When you're all going out to a restaurant and you're just not going to be able to eat, like, what do you do? Do you not eat? Do you eat, s- you know, rice and steamed vegetables with salt and pepper and that's it? Like, how do you deal with that? And there are ways. Like, I don't believe in not eating.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
I think that,
no, we are not
right,
down with that at all.
right. So there are ways and means of dealing with all of this, but it's definitely something that you have to navigate and figure out for a lot of people.
Yeah, Amy's talking about like how you really have to start reading labels too, because like you're saying, I saw the comments were going by so far, but so fast. Somebody said it's in tequila. Like what? I would have no idea that gluten would be in
There's
so
a
many
there's
things.
a lot of alcohol, like malt liquor is like a big flashing red no sign, but there's even gluten in the glue that they use for wine casks. And so depending on how sensitive you are, you could have a reaction to wine.
Wow.
Like yeah.
Yeah. Beth says, "Oh no, beer has gluten." Yeah, definitely.
Beer
They
does.
do make
There
certain.
are
Yeah.
there are some really good gluten-free beers out there. I don't drink beer. So, but my husband is a huge beer snob. He grew up in Portland, or he came of age in Portland. So he's all about the microbreweries. And so every so often he tries some for me and he's like, this one's really good.
Do this one. This is it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and to your point about like eating out and the social aspect of it, that's one of the things you and I were talking about when you were working on this recipe for Catch Me If You Candy, is educating me too about like going into a bake shop, and if there is a gluten-free cake, it's usually just boring and bland, right? And there's not anything
Right.
special about it.
Yeah, you could have chocolate or vanilla. And meanwhile, there's like the Oreo cookies and cream with the Rocky Road, or like all of these wild and wonderful flavors out there. And you can have chocolate or vanilla. And it's like, but that's kind of why I went over the top with the apple decadence cake. I was like, no, we need to go crazy with this one. All of your recipes are so decadent. Like this one had to be able to match any of them.
It did. But also thinking like, oh, I need to make sure that like Jules is working that into the books too, that she would of course want to have something in the display case or multiple things that are like, I want that. I need that. Yeah.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like my goal is always that, nobody except for me knows that it's gluten-free. Like y'all would just eat it up regardless.
And I have quite willingly many a time.
Yay.
It's true. So you are also doing a masterclass. Is that
Mhm.
right? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. So this is for people who are newly diagnosed, or they feel like they need to learn more about how to do gluten-free. And we're going to be busting some myths, such as, like whether or not gluten-free food can taste just as good as mainstream food. Hint, hint, it can,
Spoiler
if not
alert.
better.
Yeah.
So we're going to be busting some myths, and we're also going to be talking about the 4 pillars to really living an exceptional gluten-free life. Like
Mm.
have the social life, have the delicious food, and have the health and the safety.
Yeah, and don't be throwing up at the middle of the night because you're miserable then.
Right,
No.
exactly. Yeah. So it's a 1-hour training, and I'm very excited. This is going to be really good. And I've
That's so
even got
great.
some Star Wars references in there. Nope, that's the other. Wait, no, yeah, that's the right one.
Yeah.
So yeah, the roadmap to gluten freedom.
Perfect. And I'll share these tomorrow too for people. Amy says she's going to make the apple decadence cake for the holidays. It's the perfect holiday cake, I think, for sure. Yeah. Lenny says your husband and kids have to avoid food dyes. Yes. It's in everything, and 30 years ago
Wow.
it was worse. Yeah, I know. It's so true.
Yeah. Yeah, like you end up having to make everything from scratch, and a lot of things you have to make the ingredients from scratch before you can even get there.
In order to get there, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing you did with this recipe is you made the frosting vegan too, which is great.
Yes. And the
So that's
caramel. Yeah.
and the caramel, yeah, I know. So
Yeah.
impressive. um, Beth has a character who's gluten-free in her cozy mystery draft. Oh, I love that. That's awesome.
Yay.
You've been talking about that for a while. See, there it is. Annette,
Beth,
I'm
I
so glad
can't
you
wait to read it.
did. Marty says the only thing she misses about Tampa is Hale Life Bakery. It has the most wonderful baked goods, gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free, and nut-free. That's
That
the
sounds
dream.
really good. Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of the things you've talked about too, is like, where do you go to eat then if you are hanging out with friends?
Right. And I am also dairy free, although I don't necessarily teach that one, but there is a vegan gluten-free bakery here just outside of Ashland for anybody who's coming for the mystery what's it called? Your
Best. Yeah,
mystery your
best. Mhm.
mystery
Yeah.
fest, of course. Yeah, so Organicos is just outside of town, and they are phenomenal.
And
So
then
it's a good place to get
is
your
there a
bread.
new one downtown too? Is it Vida?
Yeah, Vita. They're
Vida.
not dairy free, they're not vegan, but they do have some foods that are, but it's everything in there is gluten free. They started with the Brazilian cheesy bread. Have you ever made that?
No.
Oh my gosh. Oh, it's so good. It's naturally gluten free. Like it's made with tapioca flour, I think.
Oh,
And
yes, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah, yeah. In fact, I had that
they're
in a
so
very early
good.
recipe, or in an
Yeah.
early book, because my dad makes those. Yes, I know what you're talking about.
y-
I thought you meant those.
Yeah.
Yes. Mhm.
Well, yeah, I mean it's the same, that's what they make. That's what they started, and they make like muffins and breads and stuff like that now, but they started with the cheesy bread. It's so good.
Mhm. Okay. We're all getting cheesy bread when we're in Ashland. And then you also have a free gift that you can share, right?
I do, for helping
Tell us.
people learn how to read labels for gluten, because as it turns out, the USDA, and this is in the US, each country has different requirements, but the USDA requires food manufacturers to call out wheat,
Mm.
but not gluten. And gluten can come from 3 different grains: wheat, rye, and barley. And so it's the most bizarre thing. And also the way that things are the law is right now, they can have a call out for allergens underneath the ingredients. But if they list the allergen up in the ingredients, then they're not required to call it out as an allergen. So this is how to look for the different names that gluten can hide under, like farro, farina, couscous, all these weird ingredients that we don't even think of. But so it's called 87 Names for Gluten. And there's actually more than 87, but it's a printout list that you can bring with you to the grocery store. You can keep it, it's a PDF, so you can keep it on your phone if you want to. And it's just a quick way to be like, is that safe? Yeah.
I feel like you are like you have to be a super sleuth to tie it back to mysteries to figure out like what's safe to eat too.
Yeah, you really do. And there's a lot to learn. It's a huge learning curve at the very beginning. Yeah.
But you could have someone like you to coach you through the process, which I love. Debbie says, my son has preservatives allergies and also can't eat dairy. I pretty much have to make everything from scratch for him. And now with the diabetic gluten-free foster child, I feel like I'm nonstop in my kitchen struggling to prepare meals for the family. Yeah, that's rough.
That's intense. That's a lot of requirements. Yeah.
Yeah. And Nicole says it's so confusing because there's so many names for it. You're right, they don't list all the allergens. It's crazy hard when you're first starting. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, that's the point of this list, is like, I don't think it's completely comprehensive, but it's got quite a few of the big ones,
All the ones that are hiding in secret like a suspect down a dark alley. Find that gluten. Tech Guy, did you start any other questions, or did I get to most of them before we say?
You got to most of them, yeah.
Okay, good.
There was, Nicole also had a funny comment that I don't know if you saw.
I made a gluten-free
Oh
brownie.
no.
Look like yeah, right. That's how I feel like mine have turned out.
And Mary asked if your doctor put you on meds.
Oh,
No. So it turns out that there are like a lot of different reasons that people go gluten-free. Like, I used to think it was just for celiac, but I mean, there's all kinds of different syndromes and conditions and whatever. And it turns out that what I have is called non-celiac gluten sensitivity, and they don't know what causes it. They don't know what it is. There's no drugs for it, because they don't truly, the only way that we can deal with my condition is to not eat gluten in the first place, or to deal with the symptoms afterwards. But nobody wants that. I have like 3 weeks worth of symptoms every time I get gluten. So, but I mean, like, my dad would have really bad rheumatoid arthritis, and he found that when he avoided gluten, his arthritis went down. So it really
I mean, it makes
depends
sense.
on,
Our bodies are so connected in terms of systemic issues. So yeah.
right.
Elizabeth wants
was,
to know. Oh,
yeah.
yeah, where is the
Yeah.
list? Tech Guy, will you share that link again? And then I'll share it on my page too for anyone who
Yeah.
missed it tonight. Yeah. Pamela says my rheumatoid arthritis is horrible if gluten is consumed, even in minute amounts. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Like, my dad, he could eat like a piece of bread and not have a reaction. But if he had 2 pieces of bread, then he would, flare up the next day. So, but for me, like, I can't consume anything that's even been in a fryer with something else. So like if they put onion rings and French fries in the same fryer, I will get sick from that, even though I'm not touching the onion rings.
Right. Your body's
Oh,
just like,
Pamela, you're welcome. I hope this helps.
that's awesome. That's so great. Um, well, thanks so much for popping on tonight. It's always a delight to see your beautiful face. And I can't thank you enough for
Same.
for putting together this recipe for the book. I know we want to hear when you make it. It's the last recipe. I think it's the last. We saved the best for last in the back. And you will not be disappointed. That's all I have to say. It's perfect for fall right now because my kitchen smelled like apples. There's something about that apple compote because it's almost like combining a cake with a pie. You get like the pie
Yeah.
filling in the middle. Oh, so good.
Yeah, that's how I like to describe it. It's like a spice cake with apple pie filling.
It's amazing. And I will share your Facebook page too, so that if anyone wants to connect with you, they can do that there too,
Oh,
right?
yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. Oh, Ellie, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure to chat with you and your beautiful, wonderful audience.
Yay. Well, I will see you in Ashland in just a month for Mystery Fest.
Looking forward to it.
Bye. So good. I can't wait for you to try this recipe, or maybe you already have. So on that note, I know, isn't that great information? I know. I know, Pamela. I feel like Tort is a community, and because I know Mary and I love her and adore her, it was always like I'm so used to if I show up to an event or a party, baking is my love language. And when I realized, like, oh, she can't eat anything that I'm baking, this is no good. Or she would have like the one thing at the party that she had brought herself. It really opened my eyes to how many issues you run into if you have celiacs or you're gluten intolerant. So you will notice in the bake shop that in the books that it worked its way into, or that idea of like, oh, you go into a bakery and you have two choices, chocolate or vanilla. Like, no, we got to fix that. Fictionally speaking, and then that can happen in real life too, right? Let's see. So on a non-gluten front, the tech guy and I did some baking today or over the weekend, and we thought it would be fun to show you the videos of our quick little bakes. I started with one of my go-to breakfasts in the fall. This is especially great. I don't know, there's something about fall energy with like back to school, if the kids are rushing out. The tech guy is bike commuting. Do you want to pop on and talk about your bike? I think you're so in love with this bike.
Oh, I'm so in love with this bike. Yeah, it's it's amazing. I got to lease an e-bike through my work, and unbelievable. I just like whole new world. I'm flying. I think I got it up to about almost 30 miles an hour yesterday. So
I don't know if I
that was
want to hear
awesome.
that. That part scares me just a little bit. But it's great. It's great.
Yeah. But
But
it's pedal assist. It's not like a full auto. So like people hear e-bike and they think like, oh, you're riding like a motorcycle essentially. But no, I'm riding like a 60-pound bike, and like I'm going fast. I'm getting a workout. It's awesome.
No, you're drenched with sweat when you get home. Yeah.
Yeah. Laura, it is a Specialized Turbo Vado is the brand and model. Yeah.
But what I was going to say is when you head out the door, you need something that is protein packed
Yes.
to help power your pedals.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amy, you
Yeah.
love your bikes. After the Mystery Fest, you're going to go to Monterey and Carmel and take your bikes. Oh my gosh, that is a
Oh, perfect.
perfect road trip. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Monterey and Carmel.
That's awesome.
Can we come crash your party? So this first recipe that I'm going to share, I think, is great for early morning breakfast because you can bake them ahead of time. They keep in the refrigerator for days. You just zap them in the microwave. They're egg cups. And then you can also freeze them and have them ready to go. I made this batch for Sky Guy. So they have a turkey sausage and just a little sprinkling of cheese, but you could do whatever as a filling. Peppers, herbs, tomatoes, spinach, you name it. So this is a quick and easy recipe for egg cups. Da-da-da. You You can use tater tots. You have to make sure that you thaw them first, or like any sort of frozen hash brown. Get your eggs going. Good to go. So easy. I love breakfast prep too, that I don't have to think about it, because I always start my morning with a walk, and I love coming back and being like, I don't have to think about breakfast. It's ready to go. Pour in some eggs. Here's a pro tip. If you're gonna bake in a silicone muffin tin, oh, look at those beauties. So delicious. If you're gonna bake in a silicone muffin tin, make sure you put a tray underneath it, because otherwise, especially with anything that's liquidy, that's all gonna slosh and spill when you slide it into the oven, and that's no fun.
And you know a lot about spilling, right?
I've had a few spills. Yeah, I happen to know. I'm usually banned from baking or cooking in anything that is light colored, because inevitably, no matter what I do, I will spill. I will spill just like drinking my water bottle. Let's be real, for sure. Oatmeal every day. Lisa, we're going to be sharing all of the recipes on social this week, just because it's so hard in this format. We were going to do that, and then it's like, the screen has to be like this big, and then you have to take a screenshot and all the things. So I will share each of these recipes with the video again and the printed recipe, right?
For anybody out there with like either a job in education or a corporate job, you've probably seen that PowerPoint, right? It's the one that has like 7,000 words on a slide. That's what the recipe slides look like. So we'll share them on social. That way you'll be able, and actually in the blog too.
Yeah.
We'll put together PDFs of them, so you can download them and print them too if you want.
How many eggs, Cherry? I did 12 eggs, because I made a double batch. So it ended up making 24 egg cups. So I froze half of them and then put half in the fridge for the week. And then I'm like, I have 2 weeks of breakfast ready to go. Pair that with my morning green spinach and fruit smoothie, and breakfast is done. Just like that. Love it. I'm not sure which one we're doing next. Are we doing yours or the cake?
No, we're going with the cake.
Okay, we're going with the cake. Okay, so here is apple decadence in real life. So beautiful. It's 3 eggs. I sped it up because you don't need to see me cracking eggs 3 times. Not because I spilled an egg in the mix or anything like that. Certainly no. I had so much with this. This cake is like, oh, there's my little Halloween. This cake is great because it felt like a whole day of fall baking. I love a Sunday bake. I baked it on Sunday. Oh, this is the best part, that apple filling. Ooh, vanilla yogurt with cereal and a banana cut up. Sorry, I get distracted. Oh, that's a pro tip. When you're filling something like a compote, you want to carve out a little bit of that bottom layer of the cake, and then do a layer of the buttercream and then the apple filling on top to give it space, because otherwise, like, the cake can get lopsided then. That's a trick that I learned from professional chefs over the years of writing the Bake Shop Mysteries. Who knew that so many years of having lopsided cakes were due to not knowing how to prepare my filling? But there you have it. Like I was saying with Miri, this is just, it is very decadent. You have all the spice of the fall cake. You have that apple pie-like filling, and then the luscious creamy buttercream. I added a bunch of cinnamon and extra spices to my buttercream to just punch up that spice level, and it's delicious. You can't have just one slice. I know, Michelle, it's so good. I didn't. Where did I get our little plates? Oh, that's the Czech guy. The Czech guy found the most amazing plate set that I'm not going to remember the name. So you got to pop on, Tech guy. Do you remember?
It's it's a company called Our Place.
Our Place, yeah.
OURPLACE. They make amazing stuff. Actually, the knife that she used to cut the cake, all our plates, all our glasses, a few of our pans. It's all from them. Yeah.
And you always buy all of our kitchen stuff. We don't have traditional gender roles in our marriage at all. Like, I'm always like, sure, that looks great. Thanks. You find all the great stuff. I
I
love
enjoy
the
it.
bowls for the from our place too because they're like perfect for like we do a lot of bowls for dinner like a rice or a salad bowl and they're perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, they're really heavy ceramic. Like I'm like, I hope that cabinet stays on the wall.
It's true. You're not wrong about that.
Yeah.
Okay, and then last but not least, you have a special snack recipe for us.
We have one
Yes.
more question about that I
Okay.
saw about the
Oh,
apple.
do you ever use canned apple pie filling? You could. You certainly could. Yeah, you don't have to make it yourself. I just made it myself because Mary did, and it was part of the recipe. And it's really quick and easy. If you've never made homemade apple pie filling, give it a go. You just need a couple apples, some cinnamon, a little bit of sugar, and a touch of flour or gluten-free flour in this case. And you just saute it on the stove, let the apples simmer and do their thing, and that is it. Like super easy. You could make a giant batch of it and have it almost be like a chunky applesauce. I love making homemade applesauce. That's always something that I do this time of year. So I tend to make it myself. But if you didn't have time, you could certainly get canned filling and use that yourself. Yes. Oh, Joseph, you have the stoneware. Yeah, you always worry about it being too heavy for your cabinets. Absolutely. It's like, uh-oh, please don't come crashing down. Yeah, if you're in a bind, Amy, you could totally doctor it up with extra spices and everything. Yeah, that's great. Nana, you could totally make that with pears. Oh, pears would be delicious. You just might need more flour for pears because I feel like pears have more water density than an apple, perhaps. But yeah, Pamela, you have a huge pumpkin harvest, and apple filling would be amazing between layers of pumpkin cake. Oh yeah, and apple butter and pumpkin butter. Oh, okay. Whew. All right. I got to stop because now my mouth is literally salivating. Okay, Tech Guy, what's your bonus recipe that you have for us tonight?
Mine is a healthy snack.
A healthy snack for when you come back from your bike rides. Do the kale chip dance. I love it. Oh, look at that shot. That's the money shot right there. That's our cute little wonder oven. Also, the Tech Guy. Wow. Okay, you want to pop
And
on and discuss
yeah,
your kale chips and your
that's
dancing?
it.
That's
I mean,
it.
it's kale, and you air fry it. That's like, and you can you put a little bit of olive oil, little bit.
Just touch.
Um, Mix it up. You want to chop the leaves off or tear the leaves off the spines, because in an air fryer they'll just get hot. They won't get crispy, and then they'll be soggy, and they're really
Bitter.
sour's not the word. Bitter. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's bitter. But you can put a little salt on them. You can spice them up with your favorite spice. They are delicious.
They're so good.
Delicious.
And they
Plus,
get crunchy.
they get crunchy, and they're super light to throw in your pack for biking. so, so it's a win-win.
Beth wants to know how you store them.
That's a good question, Beth. I've been making them long enough to store them because I usually end up eating all of them after I make them.
But you
I'm
know,
not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. My guess would be, well, first you would probably want to let them cool completely, because if you put them into any container warm, I think they would get soggy again. So I'm gonna go with the good old standby Tupperware, your standard, and just keep them. Once they're crisp, I don't know if they need to be refrigerated either. That is a good question. I'm gonna have to look that up.
I don't
I
think
doubt
so.
it. I
I
mean,
can't imagine.
yeah,
I felt like they have kind of like a roasted butter Brussels sprouts taste to me, like in the best way possible.
yeah,
They taste like
Yes.
a crunchy Brussels sprout when they're cooked like this with just like a touch of salt and that olive oil. Like so good. Yeah. Michelle
Well, a
says
few
fall
people.
kale. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Let's see. That was Icebreaker by John Runefelt.
Ooh,
Um,
that was a good one.
People were
Yeah.
asking about the song. Yeah.
Michelle says fall kale salad with apples, feta, sweet potatoes, and roasted walnut. We basically had that
Oh,
last night for
yeah,
dinner.
yeah. I mean, literally, if you put kale and sweet potatoes, and I'll eat it. It doesn't matter. It's like those are, yeah. I love them.
Your go-to. We
Yeah.
had 100% that same salad last night, except with goat cheese and pistachios.
Yeah.
It's the best.
This what Beth said. I did a test batch before this, Beth, and they were decidedly darker than than these ones. So you have to watch them. It's usually it'll be in the recipe, but it's like 3 to 5 minutes. This was 3 minutes. Mine was five. The first batch, and they were all. It was like the same amount of kale went into it, but 1/3 of the kale was left
Came back.
after the
Yeah.
frying. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Amy was asking how do you air fry and what temp?
I can't remember
I feel like it
the
was
temp.
lower than
Yeah,
it
I
was
want
like
to say
350.
375.
Yeah.
I'll put it in make sure it's in the recipe. Uh, but yeah, I think it was 375, and like I said, 3 to 5 minutes. It really depends on how much you put in to the air fryer too, like how large your air fryer is. Low and slow, basically.
Low and slow, baby. Low and slow. Lily, you tried broccoli and burned it so bad they were unrecognizable. Oh, yeah, that's not fun. Nicole, air
Oh
fried
yeah.
chickpeas with spicy seasoning. Yes, that's one of my
Oh,
favorites. I
what?
add that to bowls all
Okay.
the time.
Yeah.
Yes, delicious.
I think I might have to try that tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maple syrup,
Cumin. Ooh.
olive oil, lemon juice, honey mustard, salt and pepper as the dressing. Oh, come on. We are leveling up here, folks. I love it.
Yeah. Wow. I feel my simple little salt, like that was just to replace the all the salt I sweat out on my bike rides. So
I love it.
yeah.
So like we said, we will share all of these tomorrow on social along with Miri's information. Ah, Suyin, hi. Welcome, welcome. How's life in New England? Are you already getting snow? We were talking about snow at the beginning. No, it's too soon for snow. It's too soon. Maybe beautiful fall. Beautiful fall. Um, Kara, nothing's better than air fryer bacon. We have not tried bacon in the air fryer yet. Ooh, maybe I'm gonna have to try that this weekend. Love it. Um, let's see. So we have some recipes to
Oh wait,
share. Oh, go
I
ahead.
just thought of one thing. The
Yeah,
the the Wonder Oven that's in this video,
yeah.
that's from our place too. So basically, I've bought everything that this company makes. But this thing is amazing. It's an air fryer. It's an oven. It is
Toaster.
you can it's yeah, it's a toaster. You can roast things, and there's like there are two other
Broil.
settings. Anyway, broil, yes,
Yeah.
broil's another one. Yeah.
Bake.
Anyway, it's incredible. Plus it it has a little dial that you turn, and when it's done, it dings just like the old Easy Bake ovens, which is pretty funny.
I love the ding. The ding makes my heart so happy. Sometimes I'll just walk by and make it ding. That's a true story. Oh dear. Um
Nicole has one. Yes, she
yes.
knows.
And we're not even getting kickbacks from them or anything. So this is just like a love letter to our place, I guess. Who knew? Let's see. Okay, so I will share out these recipes. I'll share out Mary's contact information as well as her free gift of the list of gluten-free things to watch out for and her masterclass that's coming up. And then in terms of what's next, we are going to do our first book club on October 10th. So if you haven't joined in yet, oh, by the way, the winner for sure of the name is Book Club is My Alibi. So I think Tech Guy's working on some fun little, yeah. Book club is my alibi. Tech Guy's working on some fun little graphics for that. So come bring something fun to drink. We'll chat about the 2 books. It should be a blast. And then I'm traveling a lot for the rest of October, basically the entire month of October. I'm on the road. So our next live after that will be November 7th. We'll definitely have a Mystery Fest recap. And then we'll do a Q&A and just hang out and have fun and all of the things. Yeah, I love the name too. Amy, you read the Marlowe mystery book? Oh, good. So great. And Tech Guy, do you want to remind everybody of your book?
Yes, it's a Long Road to a Small Angry Planet.
Yes.
I can't remember the author's name. We'll post those too. We've got some images that we're going to share coming up, reminders and everything for those of you who may or may not be like me and are behind, even though you started the book before you picked it for book club.
I'm long done with mine. I don't know what you're talking about.
I have a business trip tomorrow, so I'll get some reading done on the plane.
Yeah, you can read on the plane.
In theory.
Yeah. In theory, it's all good. Jennifer, I can't wait to see you in person at the Mystery Fest either. I mean, it's going to be problematic because I will want to like hug everybody. So if you're not a hugger, you're just going to have to be like, back off. I'm so excited about Mystery Fest. I cannot believe how it's come together. Everything is pretty much sold out for the ticketed events. I had a call yesterday with Travel Ashland and the Newman Hotel Group. The Newman Hotel Group is doing a lot of the dinners and the reception, the kickoff reception. And I believe as of yesterday, there were maybe 3 seats left for Murderous Mixology and maybe 8 tickets left for the kickoff reception. And then everything else that's ticketed is sold out. But there will be a plethora of events going on throughout the weekend. I don't know if you saw my post earlier this week, but Paddington Station is doing a whole weekend of events for Mystery Fest. They're going to be doing Torte Test Kitchen every day, multiple times a day. So you can pop in if you're like going to a panel at the library and then you're heading down to see an author in the plaza, or you're going to work on solving the mystery that I've written that you're going to have a chance to solve all around town. You can pop into Paddington and be like, hey, I'm going to get a taste of that delicious lemon blueberry muffin and then head on your way. It's going to be so much fun. We are already planning for 2024. So if you can't make it this year, start thinking ahead for 2024. We have bigger and better plans, not even better, just even bigger thoughts in mind. In fact, one of the things that got thrown out was a potential costume dinner where people come in mysterious Agatha Christie-esque attire. So many possibilities, but I'm super excited for this first year and cannot wait to see you all in beautiful Ashland in just a few weeks. I have a Zoom tomorrow night with all of the authors who are attending, and we're going to put the final touches on the panels, but it's going to be highly interactive. That's the whole goal. So one of the panels is where you're going to team up with an author or two and go all around Ashland and figure out how to lose a tail or how to tail a suspect. So this is not going to be a passive weekend. It's going to be a fully engaged weekend. And I just can't wait to have our entire community together in real life too. So, and I want to make sure that for those of you who can't attend, we find ways to involve you too. So that's one of the key reasons that I want to make sure that November 7th, once I'm back from all my travels, can be a recap. I will tell Tamara Berry hi for you. I will tell everybody hi. Yeah, I cannot wait. All right. Well, on that note,
a couple.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. A couple people asked about the books. Was this the one that's?
The Marlowe Murder Club. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's it. You got it.
And then this one. I may have said road. It's a long way to a small angry planet. Yeah.
Perfect. But yeah, I'll share those again too. Just as a
definitely.
reminder, because you still have plenty of time to read either or both of them. You can choose. You can read the Tech Guy's pick. You can read my pick. Or you can just show up and have fun and talk books. Either or. Doesn't matter. No judgment. No judgment at all. Judgment-free book club. You don't have to even finish the book. All right. Well, as always, it's just such a delight to get to spend an evening with you all. And I hope you enjoyed getting to meet my friend Miri. And be sure to reach out to her if you have any questions or need help or support in figuring out a way to become gluten-free yourself. And on that note, happy fall baking. Good night.